Hey everyone, I'm Joel Green and welcome to Curiosity Quest Goes Green, the show that explores what you, the viewer, are curious about. Now today, our quest setter came to us from Yucca Valley, California. Seth wrote, "Dear Joel, I'm curious, how do you recycle caps from water bottles?" Well, Seth, obviously something that many of us deal with if we've ever opened a water bottle. Because of you, we're gonna take a journey all over Southern California to go on this quest. And it starts right here in Paris, California, at the home of Global PET. So let's begin today's Curiosity Quest Goes Green. Here at Global PET, and I'm here with Nadeem. Now, Nadeem, before we get started and see anything, I gotta know, people are curious, do we keep the caps on the bottles, or do we take the caps off?
Keep the caps on the bottles. This way we can recycle it.
What?
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute. I hear that you're supposed to take the caps off.
No, you have to keep it on because it's part of the weight of the bottles, part of the recycling program.
Now, is that everywhere across the country or just with your process?
Well, not just me. Right now, the country is more developed in the recycling side of it, and there's more awareness that yes, you can take the caps and you can recycle it and end up having an end product out of it.
So leave the caps on.
Leave the caps on, please. Yeah, leave the caps on.
Okay, so it might be different in your part of the country, but here, we're leaving the caps on.
Yes, we are.
All right, so when you get the bottles, do they all look like this? They're all baled up?
They're all baled up. They first get loose into the recycling centers. Then the recycling centers collects them and take them to a processing yard. Then the processing yard bales them and send them to us.
Okay. And they all start off like
that.
How heavy are these, each one of these?
Probably an average of 1,200 pounds.
1,200 pounds. You and I could probably pick a couple of these up.
Probably.
Or probably not. You know.
Probably.
So once they come here, what do you do with them?
We take them to a bale breaker where it breaks the bales. They become loose bottles. They go through a sortation program where we separate the clear from the green. And then it goes to our wash line where it floats the polypropylene and the labels and the caps away from the PET since the PET sinks and the polypropylene will float.
Okay, so let's make sure the polypropylene are the plastic bottle, right? The bottle part?
No.
Oh.
The PET is the bottle part. The polypropylene is the caps like this.
Okay.
And the labels like that. In the old days, they used to be paper. It's no longer the case. Now it's polypropylene.
Plastic, basically.
Plastic. It is plastic. It's all plastic.
Okay. We're focusing on the caps today. Does it matter what color the caps are?
Not at all.
Really?
Not at all. No,
so you'll separate green bottles and clear bottles, but you won't separate cap colors?
No, the water does not understand color. It's just going to float it. The cap's going to be floated, and the PET bottles are going to sink.
Okay. Let's go check out the process.
Cool.
Should we keep our bottle caps on or take them off?
I think you should probably keep them on.
Why?
Because if you're recycling them and there's still a little bit of water in there, you don't want it to spill out.
Probably keep them on.
Why?
Because when you recycle the bottle cap goes with it.
I think you have to take them off because it might be another recycling bin. On.
Why?
Because that can be recycled too.
So take us through the bales on the other side.
Okay, the bales that we just showed you earlier, we take them to a bale breaker. And the bale breaker breaks the bottles. And the bottles become loose and they go up the conveyor system all the way through. And then it hits the metal detection Then it goes to color sortation system where it takes the green out, the amber out, and other bottles that not belong there.
Why would we have metal in the bottle?
Well, in the bales, there's all sorts of products that don't belong there. So we have to go through a sortation system to where it gets rid of all that stuff before it hits the grinding.
So all we're doing is getting ready for grinding right now.
Everything you're doing, the whole setup is just to get ready where you can start sorting.
We haven't done anything with the bottle caps yet.
You have not. The bottle caps are gonna go in the bottle.
Oh.
With the bottle, and while you're sorting, you keep them on the line. Once you grind them, then it takes them to the wash line.
Go check that out.
Fun fact, fun fact, fun fact. Here's your fun fact.
Can you believe this? It takes 450 years for just one plastic bottle cap to break down.
What are we looking at right here?
You're looking at the caps and the labels that's being separated from the first tank. This one ends here. All the propylene and the caps end up being sent to another facility.
It's funny because I don't even see caps. I know you shredded them or grind them. But you shredded them, so I can't even make out caps in here at all.
No, you can see it. I mean, you really have to look. It's all there. It's
Okay.
part of the label.
Yeah. Wow, so when you send them off to the next recycler, will they separate the labels from the bottle caps?
Yes, they do.
They do?
They do.
So you're gonna keep the PET, the bottles here, and we're gonna take these with us.
Yes,
No, I mean, not like me, really.
Yeah.
I'm not putting them on my car.
that's
Or-
right.
Yeah, yeah. But I appreciate it, Nadine. Our next stop is Colton. Thank you. How do you separate the bottle caps from all the other stuff?
Put it in the recycling bin.
Have them go on a conveyor belt and then have some people go and separate them.
I think it's done with special machines because a lot of people can do it. It's hard work.
Well, they could put it in sections, and they could reuse it in different ways, so they put it in different sections.
Put them in different places.
So we've made our way out here to Colton, California. We're at Omni, and I'm here with Joe. Thanks for having us out here.
Sure, thanks for being here.
So obviously we have lots of these sacks here.
We do, yes.
Filled with, and I'm looking at this material too, and I'm thinking, how in the world are we gonna separate out the bottle caps from the actual labels? Because when I'm looking at this, most of this looks like labels.
There is a large percentage of labels in it, definitely by volume, but by weight there's more cap and bottle residue that's still on there.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is be able to separate the three primary components of this grade are the bottle caps, the labels, and some PET residue.
Okay.
And when combined, they're not compatible. So our task is to be able to separate these items to make them usable commodities.
And we're focusing on the bottle caps
We're
here.
focusing on the cap itself because that makes up actually the majority of this material.
All right, so let's get started.
Okay, great.
All right, so Joe, how are we taking all the bottle caps out of this mess?
It's a multi-step process where we're using a variety of different sorting techniques, including air separation, including a float sink process where the materials are introduced into water, where we take advantage of the different bulk densities of them, where the bottle caps are going and the labels are going to float and the PET is going to sink. So that allows us to separate those materials. And then we use air separation to be able to take out the labels.
So it's not a real simple, easy,
No, it's a multi-step process.
multi-step process. So the first step would be this, right?
That's correct. Yes, you're an integral part of the process. Thank you.
Yeah, all right, well, I need a break.
Okay.
Fun fact, fun fact, fun fact. Here's your fun fact.
Each year, 17 billion barrels of oil are used to make water bottles. That's enough oil to run 1 million cars for a year.
So he's physically, like literally getting in there, and what's he looking for?
Right, he's looking for any obvious contamination. It's the small items he would not be able to pull out, but if there's any large piece of contamination that could potentially damage the equipment downstream, that's what he's looking to be able to identify and pull that out.
So that's a magnet he's just putting, I wonder what he was doing in there.
Right, so he runs the magnet through the material to be able to identify any large piece of metal. And to be able to catch it at this stage.
And then he's looking for bigger stuff too, right?
Right, right. There's any tree limbs or any whole bottles, anything that isn't supposed to be in the material.
It's amazing because I don't see bottle caps at all.
And yeah, the difficult, but they're in there. They're actually hidden. If you look at them, they're usually the most colorful component of the mix. In this case, where you have the orange, and you have the green, and you have the red, these are all from the bottle caps themselves.
Like, I'm looking there, and I have no idea how you pulled any of that out. I see it.
Perfect. There's the bottle cap.
Aha!
And that's actually the neck ring that's around the bottle that actually the cap screws into. And this is made from the exact same material as the cap itself.
So this is what we're looking for.
That's exactly what we're looking for.
Where's it going from here?
So from here, after it passes through the metal detection, it goes through a grinding process that creates a uniformity with the size. Because as you can see, we're contending with a variety of different sizes, with hole labels, different size caps. And what we want to do is create some level of consistency that allows us better separation from the process downstream.
Okay.
What happens to all the labels on the bottles?
They take them off so they can make something else that's plastic.
They take it off.
And they take them off and melt them and make them into new labels.
I think they rip them off the bottle and put them in a separate recycling plant.
Sometimes they take it off. I think they do get scraped off and they do get recycled because they're still paper. Not wasting them by putting them in the trash can.
Okay, as we move further down the line, if I could ask you to put in your earplugs.
Sure, absolutely. God, I can tell it's getting louder and louder.
It is, yeah, and that's the next step in the process is the grinder, and those do tend to be a little bit louder.
What? I'm totally kidding. All right, as it's coming down, is there anything else that's happening right here?
Just spreading out the material so that it can evenly be distributed to the grinder, or they're also called a granulator, which is the next step in the process.
Is this it right
This right here, this big piece of machinery is the louder piece, and is the grinder.
Very loud.
And that is actually sizing the material and chopping it up so that it becomes a uniform size as it's introduced to the wash line itself.
I can feel it vibrating right next to me.
So the first step in the process is to be able to remove as much of the labels as possible prior to going to the wash line. And the reason for that is it prevents some of the separation as it gets into the water, where we talked about before where there's a separation based on density, where the caps and the labels float and the PET sink. That where we refer to here in California, the labels become somewhat of a surfboard, where the PET actually rides along that label and prevents the PET from sinking to the bottom of the tank.
So you're trying to get as much of it out of the process as you can.
Perfect, yes, exactly.
Can I feel it?
Yeah, yeah.
So this is labels.
Yeah, this is primarily just labels. So here, that you wouldn't see as much of the caps or the PET as we did at the beginning stage. You notice that it's a smaller size because it's after we ground it. After that, the heavier items are carried up the conveyor to the wash line, where it's introduced into water, and that's where you start to get the separation from the density, where the PET or the more dense items are sunk to the bottom of that wash tank. The other items, what we're trying to recover is the caps. Those are floating towards the top and are moving on further down the line to be dried and be able to further process.
What is this right here behind me?
This material is actually the PET that was contained within the commingled material. This is the float sink process that's separating the denser items that sink to the bottom. So this is actually the bottle itself. And when we extract this from the material, then this material becomes a good feedstock to go right back to the PET marsh company, such as Global, to be able to then further process this material.
Wow. So this is
We
like
don't
kind of-
waste anything.
You don't waste anything. This
Not
is kind of leftover stuff they gave to you on accident,
Correct.
and then you're going to give it back.
Correct.
How nice of you.
Yeah.
I love it. So they're floating in there.
They're floating in there. The PET, which we saw, is sinking to the bottom.
The old bottles, the leftover bottles.
And then the actual caps are floating on the top to be able to then go further down the process to be dry.
What's this noise I'm hearing?
This is actually a fan that's actually blowing the material so to help dry the material further and then move it over to that air separation line.
It's blowing it up there?
Yeah.
I'm going that way.
All right. And then at the end, what we have is clean bottle cap.
Now, wow. So now I can see all the bottle caps.
Right, where before it was mixed with the labels and the PET, now you can see it's just 100% bottle cap material.
Now, earlier Nadine said that they separate the colors of the bottles themselves. And I asked him, does it matter what color the caps are? And he said, no.
Correct, yeah.
Why is that?
When we're blending them together in the milk process, it actually blends together and becomes a gray material. And that lends itself to a variety of other colors. The obvious one would go black or gray, or if you add some additional color to it, you're able to go other colors as well in the end product. And this last stage is the safeguard that actually takes the additional label that made it all the way through the process and wouldn't let go.
Wouldn't let go.
And this is that final stage to help with the quality of the material.
There's not a lot there at all.
No, not at all. And that's an important stage because although the label is also polypropylene, which most of the caps are, it's a different type of polypropylene. And it melts at a different rate. So this becomes its own finished product, as does the cap.
Now, is this your final step?
No, we actually then, from this step, we introduce it into the extruder, which then melts the plastic down.
We do that here?
We do, yeah.
Oh, let's go. I didn't know there was more.
Yeah, we're fully integrated.
I'm following you.
All right, let's go.
Fun fact, fun fact, fun fact. Here's your fun fact.
Americans use over 29 billion bottles